So I've been waiting quite a while for Happy Gilmore 2 to come out, and it's finally here. Now, I'm giving you a mild spoiler warning just before we get into this. So was this a good final outing for Happy Gilmore? Well, here's the thing. What made the original great was that he was quite relatable, I would say. He was someone who hadn't found his way in the world, and he had a skill, right? But it didn't completely suit hockey because he had the power, but he had nothing else. I don't know a lot about hockey, but I know you need to be able to skate and basic things. However, he could transfer that to something else that he was reluctant to, and he started to find himself. Family was also a strong theme of it, with, you know, his grandma literally being the one that he's trying to save from the IRS. So, did this film come up to scratch? Well, yes, I would say it did, and it just hit on all of the themes the old one hit on, but more age appropriate for a nearly 60-year-old Happy Gilmore. Now, I will say that killing his wife really early on, Virginia, after he has a family, that was a bold move. And she does loom large over the movie, don't get me wrong, it's not like she's gone. But that was interesting, and I will say they had to give a reason for his life to go to crap, didn't they? He fell out of love with golf because he hit her with a golf ball, he blew all his money, just everything gets on the booze. I mean, there's that running gag with him literally having liquor in everything. I did enjoy that. But it's just a reason for him to have something to overcome, because how else do you do it? He was on top of the world. Well, simple solution. And as we progress, we got exactly what we expected. A bit of lowbrow humour, and as I said, they kept the family ties strong because his family were goofy but likeable, and he wanted to send his daughter to dance school to have a better life. That fits in with his grandma storyline completely, but as the elder now, as opposed to the kid, although he was trying to look after his grandma, but still, I did enjoy his happy place being far more age appropriate, like, oh, medium trousers fit, wow! It's like, yeah, instead of like hot girl, medium trousers, and plenty of other things. And some of the characters, like for example, him having a caddy that he helps out, again, very Happy Gilmore thing. Makes sense as he gets older and feels the same way about helping out with people. Side note, really love that MJF and Becky Lynch are in this. I'm a wrestling fan, so I am absolutely going to mention this. And they did a good job of fitting these new characters in, because when you get these nostalgia films, right, I think Bill and Ted 3 was particularly guilty of this. They try and give such depth and be like, oh, the next generation, let's shove it in there, we've got to make sure we do this. And for what? Is there actually going to be a Happy Gilmore universe? Well, they've not treated it like it is, and there shouldn't be, and there won't be. But some of these films, you're like, is that what you intend? Because that's not going to happen. This is a nostalgia trip. You're doing a film 30 years later, and nobody's going to get into the new characters as a thing on their own, moving the franchise forward. Not going to work. Happy Gilmore stayed Happy Gilmore. It kept that focus, and it was all for the better. It's a nostalgia film. And the whole film felt familiar, like in a good, cozy way. I mean, sure, they brought back everyone and their grandma that they could, even had sons of characters that had died in film. There were people who weren't alive to be in the film, but they fit everyone in. But things like the music, where it just felt like, you know, that It's Magic song, for example, it was done slightly differently, like just ever so slightly different, but placed in the places where you're like, ah, I know where I am. He's one. The music comes on. And all those other times when they did it, like familiar to the first one, that's absolutely fine to do that. In fact, it is the right thing. And when I talk about returning characters, I mean, they had tons of golfers give a cameo in this, which is called Rory McIlroy was in the film. I was like, I swear I recognise him. I like to think that the golf community is like, this is their Space Jam. This is literally, it's got to be the biggest golf film ever, right? If anybody knows of anything bigger, please put a comment below and let me know, because I can't think of anything. But, you know, they brought back characters. I mean, Huel from Breaking Bad is in there as Chubb's son. You know, it's just well done, and it's nice, and it just feels fun and easy, and switch your brain off, but remembering all those things. They have tons of celebrity characters. I mean, Eminem's in it, for Christ's sake, as the son of the jackass guy. And it's just, obviously he wanted to do it, and he got eaten by crocodiles as well, which was very Happy Gilmore. Like, they keep it in our happy place. Got to mention the old caddy as well, being shaken about like that when he's turned into a pro golfer. And what a shock, he teamed up with Shooter McGavin. Who'd have thought? Well, I kind of said to my mum 2 years ago, hey, what's the betting he does that? Oh, gee, I don't know. How could that ever happen? It was the right thing to do. And I did love that we had insane Shooter McGavin, then Coach Shooter McGavin, who was still kind of insane, but better. And then we had sort of vague comeback Shooter McGavin. It worked. Why the bad guy, and I'm going to get onto the bad guy, and I ever thought that he could get Shooter McGavin was beyond me. But he was meant to be an idiot, so it's fine. It's like traditionalists won't do it when Happy Gilmore wouldn't do it. But the villain was fine. His maxi golf tournament, I did like that. It reminded me of the beer brand in GTA in terms of the joke. it worked to like bring the stakes up to where it needed to be and bring it all back to a place again that's familiar, because it's exactly the same thing in the end that Happy Gilmore did, except that this was to him to protect golf, which is right because he had his life in golf, Virginia, he wanted to protect it all. He realised that he got a lot out of it, so it made sense. And I did enjoy that at the end. I wouldn't have wanted it to have been tied up better than this. You know, the whole, oh, hang on a minute. So we've got this last gamble, double or nothing. If I win, I get Grandma's house, I get the Rolls Royce, the whatever car it was they had, the electric rich car that he had. I get the restaurant for my caddy. I get billions and billions and billions of dollars. I get everything. I just get the lot. Okay, it wasn't quite the lot of him, but they just went, right, tied up, done. It's Happy Gilmore. That is what we need. It actually made me chuckle that they just went, oh yeah, do I just get all of this stuff? Cool, everything solved. And I did think the new golf versus old golf thing worked really well. I mean, I can't think of anything else they could have done as better, and to get Shooter McGavin as the coach. I mean, he's basically doing the Apollo Creed thing, isn't he? He's just like, you know, it's them teaming up. So it kind of makes sense that something that he despises makes him help the other people. Well, just Happy Gilmore. He kind of like the other golfers, but you know. So in conclusion, this movie was what it was. If you liked the original Happy Gilmore, or if you like that kind of thing, it will be your bag. If you didn't, it won't. That's kind of a lot of Adam Sandler films, but at the same time, like, if you go into this and you don't enjoy it, I'm not saying you have yourself to blame, but I'm saying that it's probably unlikely that you liked the first one. And by the way, you don't have to watch the first one to get this. They make plenty of references in this just to catch you up. So you can watch it as a standalone film. Watch the first one anyway, it's really good. I mean, the first one I preferred, what a shock, but this one, it was good. But what did you think? Did you enjoy it? Did you perhaps think, they shouldn't have done a final Happy Gilmore film, it was fine where it was? I thought they should have, but let me know what you think below. Please subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff, and until next time, I will see you later.